So massive thanks for joining myself this afternoon. Hopefully in the next few minutes I'm going to be with Ben Richards, almost blinded by the sun. The first time this year in the UK I thought I need to wear a pair of sunglasses. It's so bright today. And one of the brightest minds in property we've got coming up, Ben Richards. So massive thanks, Ben, from Aura Architecture. So literally on the 15th of June, so that's a Monday morning. We kick off at 9:40. So Ben's background from Cardiff University. Ben, massive thanks for joining myself.
Afternoon.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Look, Ben, just for your information for listeners as well. For some reason, my webcam's gone down on my Zoom for some bizarre reason. I think it's not just Zoom; it's other platforms. So it's just going to be Instagram I'm using for the moment. So next Monday I'm definitely going to be online. Just hopefully it's going to be my face as well. Otherwise it's just my voice. Look, you're on the panel on the 15th, Ben, which is focused on business operations. Do you want to just go through a little bit about the business operations for Aura Home stroke EXP property investments? I don't mind which one you do, or both.
I think it's worth just saying that I think so. Daryl Norkett was the one that brought this headline tagline to the fore, and I think it's often hugely overlooked by property people. Essentially, when you're investing in property, you're developing property. You're running a business, and to understand how that operates, the processes, the systems, the tax implications, the accountancy, the finance, there's so much more to property than just buying things, developing them and selling them on. Like, you have to run it as a business. So I think it's a great topic of conversation. I'm excited to be part of the panel to sort of give my views on things. So for a little bit of background, I've run Aura Architecture for 3 years now, full time. I used to work for the Berkeley Group. So I've learned a lot in the last 3 years from a business perspective, how to grow a business. We've gone from just myself to 5 individuals in the last 3 years. Turnovers increased 100% every year. First year, I think a lot of people when they start businesses I certainly did expect it to be a lot easier than it was. Very difficult. First year was loss making, but that was part of the process, setting up the systems, the processes. We made a good profit last year, and we expect to make a better profit this year. So it's difficult. Nobody should go into it thinking otherwise. It's a roller coaster. You have good days and bad days. It can be quite a lonely thing if you're setting up a business on your own, and I know a lot of people have struggled with that. I was lucky enough to find Jack Jiggins, who often chairs your meets. We've teamed up to start EXP Property Investments, which is our other business that we run. And that helps to share the load, share ideas, brainstorm between two people. Whereas Aura Architecture is my little baby, I guess, and it's been quite lonely at times to try and build that yourself. Even though you've got a team around you, essentially you're the director trying to build that. So I'm very interested to hear from other people about how they run their businesses, what things they would suggest to improve systems, and how to continue to grow and make a profit, which is essentially what the goal is.
Sure. I was going to say, were there things you learned at Berkeley Group, however you like to pronounce it, which you were able to implement into either EXP or Aura in terms of business systems?
Yes and no. I mean, the Berkeley Group are a huge machine where they've got huge resources, huge teams. They've been doing it for the last 40 years.
People plus, Ben, or less?
Sorry?
What, 1,000 people plus or less than 1,000?
No, I think they're easily 1,000. I mean, if you take into account all of their site operatives and I guess Berkeley as a group. I think easily has over 1,000 people working for them in amongst the various different sister companies. But there's definitely things that I've learned from them in terms of how to run things efficiently. For me, business is about systems and processes. It's about getting those right from day one, thinking longer term than maybe you are at the moment, but you plan from day one to be the company that you want to be in 5-10 years time, because if you don't, you're setting up yourself to fail, really. I mean, what I've learned from the Berkeley Group is that sort of high performance, high pressure atmospheres really do get the best out of people, in my opinion. Being part of that and seeing the projects that they work on, and the teams that are surrounding you, that the pressure you get from above in terms of the tiers of management, it's quite intense. And for me, I think I thrive in that kind of atmosphere. I think everyone should have a bit of challenge in their life, be pushed by people. And I think we've had this conversation before about the Berkeley Group, in that when I first joined the various different sectors, i.e. St James and Edwards and William, they were very much competing with each other, even though they were under the same banner at Berkeley Group. There was very, very little shared information between the various groups. That changed when I left. There was much more onus on sharing information. So all of the directors from the various different subgroups would meet and discuss challenges, discuss contractors that maybe performed badly in one and are about to be instructed on another, which you could soon pull a halt to. So yeah, I think although they're a huge company, there are definitely things that I've learned to take forward in our own development company. And if we can be anywhere near what they're producing in 40 years' time with EXP Property, then happy days.
I was going to say, are there systems? I know you talked about high pressure and from above. Obviously, when it's the two of you, or Saul's recently joined as well, is there a huge difference? How can you replicate is it that we don't quite have gone?
We have to be a lot more nimble. We're only a small team. Like you say, Saul has just joined us as sort of operations director, so that's some great resource that we've got to put in place. But you've got to be a bit more innovative. We use technology very, very well. Cloud-based systems, remote access, remote working, little hacks that we use to be just a bit more efficient and more proactive. We're both relatively young, so we've grown up with technology and see the benefits of having everything in one place in a cloud-based system. We use Google Drive. I swear by a software called Bluebeam, which allows me to edit PDFs very quickly and share information. I think the fact that lockdowns happened has really pushed people to use Zoom and video chats. We were using that type of thing before to communicate. And I think lockdown has been horrendous, but for a lot of people, the way that they communicate will improve going forward. And we will be forced to work remotely a lot more. And that's something we've been doing for the last 3 years in terms of my business anyway.
Because I have to admit, I was never using Instagram Live. I think I may have done it once or twice, but never brought someone from outside of where I was, literally sitting next to me. I could bring them into the conversation, but I didn't realize you could bring people in.
I mean, this functionality is great in itself. The fact that I can speak to you via Instagram, people can watch. Hi to those that are watching, by the way. It's a great way of communicating with people. It's a great way of sharing knowledge, sharing experience, and bringing other people into what you're up to.
Did you consider, though, when you compare yourself to the Berkeley Group? I know you're not comparing yourself now, but in terms of company structure, in terms of who you answer to, your accountability, of course, you answer to you got a good relationship with Jack as EXP, but for Aura, for example, you maybe I'm wrong, but is there a board of directors or an NED or anything like that where there's a bit of accountability?
No, it's just me, and that's where it does become very difficult for I know a lot of either self-employed or sort of solo directors of companies. It is tough not having that sounding board. And it's not for everyone. Like I said before, like having Jack on board with EXP is a massive plus. It's just that second person to throw ideas off of, to share the load, to moan to, if something's going wrong. And like I think accountability is a very, very good point. I have to be accountable to myself, and that's the hardest place to be, really, because it's easy to say, actually, I can't be bothered today. And like most business owners, I'm very sure that they go through a lot of that. I have days where I'm just like, I just wish I didn't have so much responsibility for people, the team and the contractors that we work with, and all of the external consultants that we work with. I kind of have to kind of bear that weight, I guess, as the sole director. But that's part of it. It's part of the risk, and hopefully the rewards come from being sticking at it and being determined. But I guarantee you, I have days where I just can't be bothered. I'd rather be playing Call of Duty and just going back to my uni days where I had not a care in the world. You go through stages like that, and if there are any business owners out there that are in that same boat, give me a shout, give me a call, because happily have a chat with you, because everyone goes through it. I guarantee it.
So look, just a couple of questions. One point I just want to get across for those who've not heard of Aura architecture.
Yeah, correct. So we work with private clients, house extensions, loft conversions, the one-off kind of instructions, and with property developers up to about 25 units schemes. I'm still here. Yeah, you're a bit fuzzy. But yeah, I guess predominantly our work is with private homeowners, but we work a lot with property developers as well. You need to stop enjoying yourself in the sun and get near your router. You back? Is it? But you're breaking up. Something chronic.